Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you guys are watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm just glad you're here. Real quickly, I want to thank all the channel members. Thank you, and thank any of you who found your way in here to check out my knife and EDC content. I appreciate you. So today is a continuation of my collection dive. This is the final Apache case, case number 4. This is the second video out of 4 that'll make up this case, and these will all be in the 2024 collection dive playlist. And if any of you haven't had the chance yet and are so inclined, if you like the knife and EDC content after you watch it, if you'd come back and hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon, it would really help me out. So this is kind of getting into the second from the back, about halfway, and the third row from the back. And this row is kind of my remaining Finches. I collected Finch knives for quite a while. Always been a fan. I love the fact that they've got the little loom on the shield that actually glows. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it does glow in the dark. That's just a little, what would you call it, a trivial aspect of it. But this is a liner lock. Really neat trapezoidal flipper. This is the first Finch that came out, the Runtly. It's in 154 cm. This is kind of like a small little fifth pocket cleaver, if you will. It's on bearings, G10 handles, and it comes in a lot of different configurations handle-wise. But I can even flick it off the, well, my fingers are wet. I can even flick it off the nail nick. But guys, for a little utility cutter or a little box opener or just a little detail cutter, this little Runtly is all about cutting. And it's small. It's very fidget friendly. When I first got into Finches, I think I heard about them on Lefty EDC's channel, but I really fell for the different aesthetics, which we'll look at as we go through these. They're kind of like traditionally inspired modern locking folders. So the Runtly was the first in my collection. This one's in black G10, 154 cm. Great little fifth pocket carry knife. The second one that I got at the time, this is long before I ever got into slip joints. I did not appreciate the Wharncliffe blade. I was more into totally different knives, but this is the QS or the Finch 1929. Oh, excuse me, Doc Holiday. The Finch Doc Holiday. It is evidently designed off of a traditional pattern, and it's probably the blade, not as much the handle, but it is super slicey. Again, very, very pokey because it's got that very acute Wharncliffe tip. It is 154 cm. This one has a little different build, which we'll see going through here. Some of these are G10 on a frame, and some of these, like the Doc Holiday here, have stainless steel bolsters. This one has micarta, but it comes in a lot of different type of materials. It does have that glow-in-the-dark loom. It is a recessed. This one is not a liner lock. This is more of a bolster lock or a recessed frame lock. I can't talk tonight. But this is the Finch Holiday, Doc Holiday in 154 cm, one of my favorite Finches, and one of the OGs. The first 3 I think I'm showing you are the first 3 that came out, the original 3. But this is the Doc Holiday, and in its same spirit, the next one that came out that I instantly picked up was the Finch 1929. This little guy has got a very unique, old school looking clip point blade with a really nice rolling belly. This is also a very small knife. I would put it right in there between a fifth and a primary carry knife. Very easily a fifth pocket carry knife. All of these knives are going to have titanium pocket clips. This one's in micarta, but you could get it in snakewood, you could get it in abalone, you could get it in all kinds of finishes. Has the bolsters that are stainless, has the recessed liner, i.e. bolster lock. They're all flipper only unless they've got that exposed choil that you can, or the exposed nail nick that you can flick. But these knives used to range anywhere from about if you went for some of the G10 knives, around $95 up to about $125. Some of the newer models are a little more expensive, but they're using upgraded materials. But this is the Finch 154 cm 1929, one of my favorites in my Finch collection. It's a great little knife, unique little blade, and it looks kind of old school. So moving on, we come to one that's more reminiscent with the Runtly. I say that in build style. This one is steel liners, G10 scales with really good grip. You've still got that titanium clip. You've still got that 154 cm blade. This is the Tichuna, or the mini machete as I call it. I love this knife, guys. I love the odd look of it. I love the fact that the one I found, because they were all sold out, had orange scales, and I hate orange scales, but it's just such a unique knife that the scales fit it perfectly. Again, drop shut action. This one, unlike having the recessed frame lock, i.e. bolster lock, it's back on a liner lock, but you don't notice anything in the detent. It's very consistent. This one has the blacked out blade. Really unique looking knife. I'm sure there's some historical relevance to this knife. I'm just not a historian or an old school knife guy, but it does have that glow in the dark lume, which is really cool. Unfortunately, you won't see it under my lights, but this is the Finch Tichuna, or as I like to call it, the mini machete. Medium-sized knife, about bug out sized. A really good one. I highly recommend it if you can find them. They show up on the secondary, and I'm sure they'll come back out again. Now, this is one of my favorites. This was one of the later Finches that I got into my collection, but it's also one of my favorites. It's got a bone handle, or synthetic bone handle. Has that same stainless steel bolster construction with the recessed frame lock, i.e. bolster lock. Flipper action knife. It's called the Harvester. You've got this really nice slicey blade with a tip that makes for easy work of whatever you're cutting, whether you're cutting into packages, whether you're doing detail cuts, you name it. This knife will do it. It's also a slasher. And what I love about it is it's got plenty of room to get your finger up behind that finger hole and middle finger flick it if that's your jam. The flipper tabs work great, whether you light switch them or push button them. Either way, they fly out regardless of blade size. Every Finch I've had has had fantastic detent. I just really like the little Runtly or the Harvester because I can, just as my brain goes to, middle finger flick it. I can even middle finger flick it just off the blade stock with the side of my finger. Finch Harvester is an absolute home run. I can highly recommend any of these Finches because I've given away a lot of them that I could also recommend, but these are the ones I've currently held on to, and the Harvester is a winner. Moving on, we come to a little DLT exclusive, not the model. This is the Little Finch Lucky 13. They make this in a lot of different finishes, like all the Finches, but DLT had an exclusive on this handle material, which is this raindrop carbon fiber, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. This is a small knife. This one has been put through the ringer with cardboard. It is a cardboard slashing full. It is small, so it's a 5th pocket knife, but you can always choke up on that flipper tab. It is very able. All of these are very centered. They are on bearings. This little guy is a laser beam, and it's cut through at least 100 Amazon packages and broken them down. This 154 cm seems to hold a really good edge. You've got this nice low detail tip. You can get the Lucky 13, I think, still, but you'll probably have a hard time finding the shred carbon fiber. But it was just the one that was available when I was picking them up. Because like I said, early or midway through my knife collecting, I say midway through, up until this point, midway through my knife collecting, I really was hot and heavy into Finch. Up until the buffalo toe. And it's not because I didn't like the buffalo toe. It's just because I was starting to buy some different price knives as we evolve. My final Finch in this run is going to be my little dagger, my little poker, my little pony, the 154 cm Finch Roadrunner. Roadrunner uses that same construction technique, i.e. bolster lock / recessed frame lock. This is a dagger blade. You might call it a spear point. I kind of call it a dagger. It reminds me of an Italian stiletto. It is a drop shut knife where the entire blade is concealed in the handles. You've got that recessed liner lock with great action. If you like weird front flips, you can front flip this knife. I like the traditional flip. I actually like to push button this knife, but it is a full-size knife, one of the bigger Finches in my collection, longer, and it is a splinter digger. It is pokey stabby, very shallow or short grind because it's so pokey stabby, but still very slicey. But where it shines is pushing through materials, whatever those materials are. The Finch Roadrunner is a winner, and I love that kind of abalone, shelly looking material, and I'm sure it's synthetic. But that is the last of the Finches, which moves us into a very unique knife, one of my favorite budget Vosteeds this year in 2024. This is the Talarurus, the Talasaurus or Talarurus. It is a U design, Brother U, one of the partners there. This is 14C28N. It's got this sculpted G10. You can get it in micarta with a black blade, other materials, but it's got this really nice sculpting going on the G10, which makes the ergonomics of this knife, to me, feel even better than the Dogfish, which is a little larger knife. You've got this really well-engineered harpoon here at the front with this flat thumb disc, which allows me to literally choke up on that knife and have 100% purchase. I've got a very strong grip. You've got that sheep's footy Wharncliffey blade that is meant for business. The axis lock or bar style lock that Vosteed utilizes is next level. It's snappy. The detent is very snappy. The drop on it is very controlled. It, i.e. shuts. You don't have to shake it shut. So if I turn it up, right side up, pull my bar back, it's perfect. Deep carry steel clip. Very, very nice knife. I think you can buy this on their website for about $72, maybe a little less because I know they're having some Father's Day sales. I'll leave links to all these, and where I have affiliate links, I'll leave the least expensive affiliate link, and where I don't have affiliate links, I'll just leave you a link to where you can look at the knife. Because like Finch, I don't have any affiliation with them, but I can send you to traditional pocket knives where I do. So this is the Vosteed. This is the Talarurus or Talasaurus. I always get that wrong. And then we move into a kind of a unique one that Jared Neves talked to me about through his channel early on in my knife collecting. This was one of his favorite TwoSuns, and if I'm not mistaken, it still is. It is a absolutely stunning, stunning design. It's a night morning design, I believe. It is M390. You've got this really beautifully sculpted titanium frame lock, and then you've got this solid piece of structural carbon fiber on the show side. You've got this 3/4 inch back spacer. You've got great access to the lock bar, drop shut action. You've got a front flipper, really unique blade where you've got that little tip. The little tip comes in great. It's a slicing machine because of the blade geometry, but that little tip being turned down there at the end makes all the difference in the world. Whether you're piercing, whether you're doing detail cuts, whether you're slicing. I know Jared won't watch this, but he can correct me if I'm wrong if this wasn't one of his favorite TwoSuns. But the opening hole is ingenious. It takes that pear-shaped hole and kind of impresses on it. So depending on where you put your finger, if you like to flip up, or if you like to flick out, or if you like to top flip. You've got a lot of opening methods there. This is a medium-sized knife, probably right around the size of a bug out, maybe a little bit larger. Definitely a little bit more beefy, but a great knife. I'm a huge fan of this. I want to say this is the TwoSun TS-129, but I could be wrong. I will have it right in the description. They are available from time to time at White Mountain Knives. They're also available on eBay, but you have to wait for them on eBay. They're also sometimes available on Amazon. So I'll leave you some links. Great knife. They also make it in micarta for a lot less money. It doesn't give me the same warm and fuzzies as the titanium and the carbon fiber does. But moving on, we come to Dylan Mallery's first OEM design with Artisan. This is the Dylan Mallery Phorus Gen 1, the OG Phorus. Super light, thumb hole, blade hole only, right? It is a knife that is simple, it's understated, it's elegant. It has got a 3/4 backspacer, titanium clip, nice shred carbon fiber, S35VN blade, extremely generous finger choil, some laser beam cutting geometry. It's a knife that was produced in very limited numbers. It was a knife that a lot of people got in on. I did because I was very much a fan. I have not bought any of his upgraded Phoruses or the Talarurus or some of the others like that because this little knife fills the void. This is just a little bit smaller than a Para 2. It's going to be more of that medium to full size knife, whether you hold it back here or if you hold it like I do. It's the perfect gentleman's EDC go hard knife. No jimping. You don't miss it. You've got access to that liner lock, snappy detent, drop shut action. Just an absolute winner. And this is the Dylan Mallery, the Phorus, the OG. And then we move on. We're getting close, guys. We've got a couple of Tuyas. This is the Tuya Mutt. This Mutt came and sprung from the mind of my brother, Colin Mason Pierre. You guys know Colin Mason Pierre as the brainchild behind Devo Knives. And then you've got Kevin, who's the quarter brain. You got 3/4 of a brain and a quarter brain, but they work together to make 100%, 110%. I'm a big fan of Devo Knives. But this is one of Colin Mason Pierre's designs. You can see his little maker's mark here, CM. It's S90V. It is, you can see Dave Warren, Tuya Knife, so it's a collaboration. This guy is very slicey. I mean, like a freaking laser beam. And I'm trying to keep this video under 30 minutes, so I'm going much faster than I did yesterday. Whoops. I like the unique, it's some kind of, something like camo carbon fiber, right? It's some kind of Chinese carbon fiber, but it's got the nice bolster lock or recessed frame lock, titanium handles, beautiful carbon fiber. You've got the little shield there that gives it that little traditional element. Very clean lock bar cutout, great titanium clip, drop shut action, nice flipper tab if you just like a flipper tab, and then you've got a finger hole if you're a middle finger flicker like me. But I'm a huge fan, and this is the Tuya Tough. So we move on to Tuya Mutt. What the hell am I saying? This is the best Tuya knife and one of the best knives that I've experienced in 2024. And you go, John, 2024? I didn't get this knife until 2024. I know it's a little older. But this is the Calidan by Tuya Knives and by Jim Skelton, the V2. This is a flipper-only knife, which, as you guys know, that's normally a red flag for me and a knife that's not really something I'm interested in. However, I was told that the action on this knife would make me forget about the fact that it looks like a parrot. Hello, hello. It would make me forget about the fact that it didn't have another deployment method, and they were 100% right. This knife is on hydraulics. I dare you to find a smoother opening and dropping knife. The detent pressure and the detent ball is just balanced perfectly. I like, again, these Asian shred carbon fiber, whatever they are. You've got a really deep, long titanium pocket clip. You've got these nice blasted bolsters. What I love about it is this is a tactical knife through and through, guys. Yes, it's very slicey. Yes, it's going to be a great EDC knife. But this knife is a spear point. It is designed to save your Slurpee, to do whatever you need it to do, whatever you need to pierce into, or whatever you need to cut. S90V has a beautiful, beautiful satin hand or belt satin. I love it. You've got Jim Skelton's Maker's Mark on that side of the blade, and then you've got the Tuya on this side of the blade. Wonderful access to the liner lock, or to the bolster lock slash concealed frame lock. And then whether I light switch this, which you've got perfect jimping in the flipper tab, or if I just want to push button it, it flies in, and then the parrot's beak keeps your hand from sliding up on that blade. So should I have to use this in a defensive posture, I'm not going to have to worry about sliding up on that blade, because that is a true handguard. But guys, the smoothness of this knife, you really have to feel it to appreciate it. So I'll turn it from totally horizontal and it just drops. It's wonderful. So the last knife on video 2 of 4, there will be 2 more of these, I had to bring this little guy in here. And I will put a link to it because I use this knife more and more and more. And yes, it's not your standard pocket knife, right? This is my Balisong razor knife. It is my dedicated package opening knife. I replace the blades when I need to, but I'm only using it. I could use it for roofing. I could use it for heavier tasks, but I use it to open Amazon packages. You can see the tape on it. You can see the rust on it. But it is titanium. It has this lock. So as long as you don't hold the lock side, you can flip it and you're always going to hit the back side of the blade. And if you wanted to use it as a trainer, you could take this screw out, take the blade out. You're not changing the weight up much because most of the weight is in the titanium carrier. But this guy is very well made. It came in, I want to say, about $60. It does have a lock. It does have a nice clip where you can carry it in your shirt pocket. You can carry it in a back pocket. And then again, you've got that spring release safety there. And then you can just literally open it up. If you want to lock it shut, you can. I never need to when I'm using a Balisong or a butterfly knife, whatever you want to call it, because my hand's holding it shut. But yeah, guys, this is the Amazon, and I've got it in my Amazon store because I have bought it. And let me just throw a few of these up here for you. So we've got just a menagerie of knives. Like I said, the case number 4 is an interesting case because it changes around a lot. It's not changed lately because I've been filming these videos, but it's got some interesting things in there. You're even going to see a couple of multi-tools that I actually use, which I think is kind of a testament to my fortitude and the fact that I'm trying new things out as I continue to grow in the hobby, because I really do enjoy the hobby. I enjoy the people. I enjoy the knives. I enjoy the people that make the knives, that bring the knives to us. But guys, this is just a sampling. I'll try to list them all out for you. I'll try to give you some links where you can go hunt some of this stuff down. That's going to be a tough find. You might have to go on the secondary for that. But guys, I love each and every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are so inclined and you haven't had a chance, please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon. But mainly, look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for that guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart and choose to bait, not hate. I love you all. Peace.